What is up, guys? Justin here, aka No Good Comics, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a little while since I've been live streaming. Took a little break from the summer, and obviously I'm in the X been taking a break for a little bit until the fall. But I had to come on here to recap this past weekend. If you're not familiar, it was just over at Terrificon over in Connecticut, Terrificon 2024. My favorite Comic Con, really of all time. I just love this Comic Con for not just the artists and the creators that show up every year, the actors that come through, but also the community. It is such a community focused Comic Con, and for the size that it is, it's a little. You almost wouldn't expect that because of just how it's really grown. But at the same time, it's like you still get that community vibe, that feeling, that connection with everybody. And a lot of people travel from, up north in Canada, from Canada. We had guys from down south, people West Coast, like all coming through. So it's just a really, really great Comic-Con. If you've never been to Terrificon, I highly recommend it. I can't talk highly enough about it. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I've posted over there about it in the past. I know I've talked about it here on YouTube, in years past about just how much I love this Comic-Con. But man, oh man, it never fails. It just keeps getting better and better every single year. And this clearly has outdone it yet again for just the overall experience and the new friends and people that I made friends with, new faces, along with all the classics, the regulars, the usuals that show up at the same time. So it's just a great mix of everybody, and some really just fun, good times and experience. So if you guys if you're there, if we said hi, great. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Hopefully next time I'll see you again. And for anyone who's experienced it, I really do hope that this is a Comic-Con that you are putting on your list, for the rest of your life, to come back again and again and again, because it is that damn good. So I'll have to put a link in the description. I don't think I added it yet, but I'll add a link in the description after this live stream. It's been a little while since I went live, so definitely just jumping back into things, making the thumbnail and doing all that stuff, and just kind of getting back into the groove of things is, this was definitely out of nowhere. So I have some books that I want to show off, artwork I want to show off. I want to talk just a little bit about some of the highlights, at least in my experience, of what went on during Terrificon, the good times that we had. And then, obviously, just go through some of the books that I actually picked up as well. Before I get into everything, let me just say a quick hello to the chat. I see some people hanging out. My man, Black Crown Comics, he was hanging out all weekend long. It's so great, BC, to finally meet you in person, hang out with you. I feel like I've known you, for a good amount of time. I remember when I was first there, when you were kicking off your YouTube channel, for the very first time, and I was glad to be able to support you then, and continue to support you now, man. Just really great to connect with Black Crown. So yeah, hanging out with him all weekend. Let's see, we got Copy 801 in the chat. What's up, Copy? I know he had messaged me. I know we only had like a small 15 seconds, it felt like, to hang out, but time was just flying by the entire weekend. But I'm glad that I was able to see you for a little bit, catch up for a few before we kind of went our own ways. But Copy, it's always a pleasure to see you, man. I know you said you were I think you were like working the con half the time, and walking around elsewhere. Let's see, we also got my man Wesley, who was also at the Comic-Con. Dude, good to see you, Wes. Another one who, Wes, it's like what, 3 years in a row now for you? I feel like we've connected, or maybe 4 now. But I feel like, yeah, every year I've gone, you've been there, and so it's always a good time hanging out with you and Joey and the crew. Glad that you're able to go year after year. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, absolutely, dude. You already know, man. You already know. We definitely gotta get up again soon. Let's see. My man Michael, aka Soap Collector, in the house, dude. I definitely wanted to highlight you in this recap. You were one of my highlights was being able to play Magic the Gathering with you. I'll go into that in a sec. But dude, so pumped to be able to. I know we hang out at the show every year, but that was really great to finally do that, because I know we've been. I'll just share it now. Mike and I have been basically trying to get a game of Magic the Gathering in for the past 4 years or so, since we've known each other and since we've been going to the this Comic-Con. And every year I'm the guy to forget my deck, my Magic the Gathering deck. So finally this year I remembered it. I actually brought 2 decks with me. and we were able to play a couple matches. So for anyone who knows Magic the Gathering, we were playing Modern. I was playing Merfolk, and Sove Collector Michael here is playing Goblins. So yeah, it was or 8-Whack, I guess is the deck term name, right? Either way, great times. And for those wondering, yes, I was able to beat Michael 2-1 in the match. So it was pretty epic. Spreading Seas, he couldn't cast anything. It's hard to play when you can't cast anything. I love you, man. He says eating dinner with Krista. Hi, Krista. Oh, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Yeah, I even got to talk to Krista a little bit, even though she wasn't there. Just FaceTiming with her while you were FaceTiming with her. It was cool to just be able to see her and talk with her a little bit too. So yeah, Michael, you're the man. Appreciate it. And yeah, that was definitely a highlight for me. Just finally being able to play Magic the Gathering with you. So let's see. Yeah, Wesley says it's his third. Okay, yeah, I knew it was 3 or 4. I think this is my fourth technically this year. And yeah, copy them with you, man. So many people, like I mentioned earlier, it really is special. Oh yeah, and I got an exclusive. I got an exclusive, but it wasn't for me. It was for my buddy Roger. I'm sorry, Jr. But yeah. Oh, see, Wes, you got a deck too. You play Magic, dude. Definitely, you gotta bring it next year, man. We'll get a whole tournament going. That'd be great. My man Dan X-Men Comics, dude. I had so much fun hanging out with you too, man. All during the day, hanging out, waiting online with you, Bruce and Ryan, just waiting for Claremont. That was our first thing, right? Just going right onto that line, getting in early, and going right to Chris Claremont, the man. So it was cool because we were able to kind of each have our own time with Chris, and then took pictures of each other meeting Chris and filming and all that stuff. So it was cool to just capture some of that extra content. If you guys haven't seen that, it's over on Instagram right now, and maybe I'll do a reel here or shorts, or something like that later on. But a really cool experience to meet Chris, and of course Dan, just hanging out with you, man, and the late night stuff, rolling dice, playing craps, all that stuff. Absolute blast, dude. Absolute blast. I'm going to talk about a little bit of that too here tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for joining in. If you guys haven't already, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I do appreciate it. Like I said, just recapping Terrificon as a whole. So one of the things I wanted to highlight as probably the biggest highlight of this trip for me was the fact that my dad was there, and this was his first time at this particular show. He's done a lot of Comic-Cons throughout his career, throughout his lifetime, but this one, being fairly new still. I think this was like the 9th year that Terrificon had done this. My dad had never attended this show or exhibited or I guess was part of Artist Alley. So this was the first year for him. He's heard so many great things, partially to me, always talking about it, always hyping it up. So I kept telling him, like, Dad, you got to try it this year if you can get in, or if you get the hookup or whatever it is. And luckily they reached out to him, invited him to be a part of the actual Comic-Con, and that just made the trip just amplified a million times better. Like, to have my dad there, my sister came as well. And to just see the community together and supporting my dad. People stopped by, said hi to him. They bought artwork from him, got signatures from him. All that stuff meant so much to me, to just know, like, my friends, the community here supporting him. And again, a lot of them were fans of him way before, they knew me. But it's just cool, like, that, I mean, some people had realized the connection, just knowing that, they didn't know that before. I know a lot of you didn't know, for maybe if you're newer to my channel, obviously it's not something I like tout or anything. I don't start, lead off a conversation with, oh, I'm no good. And by the way, my dad is Greg or whatever, but that's not, so that's why I don't really like share it. So I've had some people reach out to me saying, like, dude, why have you kept this as a secret for so long or whatever? And I'm like, well, it's not really a secret. It's just like, I don't talk about it. Not nearly enough as at least to I guess get the word out. But again, for those who follow me or who have gotten to know me over time, they know this, and it's just so cool to, like, connect with everybody and see him connect with everybody. He was telling me, my dad was like, just stunned with all the different people that came up, whether they're dropping my name or just telling stories about how they knew my dad's artwork or had an experience or whatever, and he was just blown away. So I appreciate everybody who showed love and support to my dad. That meant the most to me this entire trip, and to just see him in the zone and in his happy place, because that's what my dad does best. As an artist, just thriving in that way, and being around the fans, and being appreciative of the fans that are around him, and it was really, really awesome. So thank you for that. And so that was really cool. And then of course we get tons of great pictures. Again, a lot of those are posted on Instagram, group pictures, at my dad's booth, and all that other stuff was really neat. So let's see, stop and check the chat real quick. I saw let me see, this just jumped on me here. Copy, it's funny that you I have a story about Scott Snyder. I have to share that as well. Really, really funny stuff. Yeah, Wes, dude, and I appreciate it, man, that you stopped by. Hey Candace, what's going on? Good to see you. I know you couldn't make it out here. I hope you can make it out to Terrificon one of these years, Candace. It's really, really good. Very similar vibe to C2E2, like very, big in that regard, but not so big that you can't like get anywhere. So it's nice. But yeah, so that was the main, obviously, my dad being the biggest part of this whole weekend. And then of course I mentioned the, just the community, just being there with everybody, 3 Men in a Basement, and, just what they do. Those guys, Chinmo, Dave, Roger, and Otto, love you guys. You guys put on such a great, you guys are such a great part of the experience for me. 3 Men in a Basement. If you guys don't know who they are, I'll put the link in the description below afterwards. But look them up, 3 Men in a Basement or 3MIB. They've been a big part every year when I go to this event, because they host live streams every all day, like each day throughout the weekend. They do it right from the hotel, like the lobby of like the this year they were on the 30th floor, and it's just such a cool hangout. Everybody goes there at the end of each day to kind of show off what they picked up, or what they're planning to go after, or whatever. And that's always been an experience for me. So when I think Terrificon, I think 3 Men in a Basement, because you guys are very much a large part to the heart and soul of that Comic-Con, and the way you guys promote it, talk about it, be about it, show up every time, and throw awesome live streams and parties. And obviously we go out to the bars and we have great times, late into the night. So appreciate you guys and all that you do. That definitely was another highlight. If you guys haven't checked them out, definitely please do. A few other things, like the Comic-Con podcast, those guys, Zach and Justin, had a setup at the booth. Those guys, getting to know them over the years has been really great. And especially, I mean, Justin lives, he's right here on the East Coast. Well, Zach moved technically to the East Coast now, but Justin's like local to me. We've seen each other at a lot of local Comic-Cons and some of the smaller ones here in Jersey. And they're another piece to this Terrificon bit, where they're there every year, and the good times always roll with them. So really fun to see Comic-Con podcast set up in their as their own booth. I don't know if this was their first year setting up technically, or their second. Might have been their first year. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. But either way, just a good time. And then of course they had Ken Marion, the artist, with them hanging out. I know they're very good friends, and they've shared a booth a few times. So it was cool that they were technically part of like Artist Alley, hanging out there. They had a really cool exclusive, which I have. I did buy a copy. Let me see if I have mine next to me, or it's not next to me. Nope. Hang on. Where did I put it? Man. Oh, there it is. Okay. Whew. Okay, so this was the I don't have the little card. I'll have to see if I have the card, but this is from Ken Marion. Really, really sick exclusive for the Comic-Con podcast. Really, for all you Turtle fans out there. I'm not necessarily the biggest Ninja Turtles fan, but I had to support the guys, and definitely thought that this was a really wicked cover. So, and they were also doing a skateboard that they were raffling off for the show. If you bought one, you got an entry into the raffle. I don't know if they ended up doing that drawing or who won or whatever, but it was really cool to see a literal skateboard size with this artwork right up on it from Ken Marion. So shout out to you guys. That was really cool. And then of course getting into a little bit more of the show and tell stuff, I have to show this bad boy. So every year for Terrificon, I try to get one one artwork, one commission piece, at least one. Sometimes I'll get two, depending if I'm doing good at the casino or whatever. But this one I actually even requested a few days earlier before Ken got in. He was my guy. I met him at King Con, with Justin and Zach, and was just looking after certain things, and I was like, okay, this is the guy I'm getting something from coming up at Terrificon. So I reached out to him literally a couple days beforehand, and I asked him for Luffy from One Piece, specifically because that was something that he and I had connected on right off the bat. When I first met him, I saw a lot of his other artwork, some sketches that he had, and he did like Roronoa Zoro, and Luffy and so many more. So I thought it was so sick. The almost like anime vibes, and how accurate he was to certain aspects of the drawings, and still have his own unique style. So I asked for Luffy for this particular one, and this is the artwork that I got from him. How sick is this? This is so dope. So like the detail in the hat and the hair, like I love all of that. So, and there's Ken's signature there. And yeah, just even has the scar there. Luffy with the scar. So any One Piece fans, if you're looking for some really cool commission artwork, definitely reach out to Ken. I'll put his link in the description as well. Just so cool. So I'm glad this is my main artwork that I got from the show. So again, shout out to the guys, and Ken, thank you for doing this. This is incredible. And I see the other thing too, I was going to highlight, I bought a couple of stickers. So there's Nami and Roronoa Zoro there. Pull that back a little bit. These are just some larger stickers, and I got Luffy as well, and Poison Ivy. It was like a deal of like buy three get a fourth, so I had to get my girl Poison Ivy in there too. Really great stuff. So thank you, Ken, again. Incredible, absolutely incredible. See some people hanging out in the chat. Let me check in here. Patrick, what's going on? BLC, what is up, brother? Let me see. It's just I think they're first. Okay, yeah. Like I know Justin's been to the show multiple times. Zach's been. I think he said it was the second time. Yeah, exactly right, Candace. That's what I'm saying. Like I grew up with a little bit of TMNT, in my childhood, but I was not, even getting into comics now. Nothing like really pulling me in. But that exclusive variant had to pick up. The next one's going to be, I think they said August 9th, whatever that weekend was, 9th, 10th, 11th, or whatever that weekend is going to be. And then yeah, I'll definitely be there for that. Yeah, right. Candace got my man Luffy. Yeah, man. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate you guys hanging out right now. I got 10 of you in the chat. We really appreciate you guys hanging. It's been a while since I did some like solo streaming, I should say. Not being on someone's show or hanging out with John or whatever. So trying to get into the groove of things. So a few other things I wanted to highlight, and I made a little list because I just wanted to make sure I covered things. Some other people that I met, I talked about. Black Crown, who was in the chat, obviously Newbie, Quentin, Ozzy, from Canada, like all those guys, Greg that was there. They were all, I mean, some of them I met for the first time, some I've met a few times. The whole crew from Council of X, Ryan, Colossus Collector, and Dan, who was just in the chat earlier, those guys, that was so cool. Bruce and them, really fun to hang out with them, and like I said, be online for Chris Claremont. Also just like the late night stuff. I know me, Chinmo, and Ryan, we were there, Colossus Collector, we were the first night, I guess technically the Friday night, we were out super late. Some of the last few, at least from where we were on the one side of the bar, out till like 3 a.m., playing roulette or whatever. And that was good times. So yeah, those guys were just awesome. Council of X. If you guys don't follow them, I'm gonna have to put some other links in the description. I saw Erod 212. He was hanging out there, and I brought him up because I wanted to highlight just a couple of the books that I picked up from him. I'm gonna separate these. Let's see. I think it was these three were that. Oh, I forgot to show what I got from Claremont. I should show that too. Let's see some of these earlier issues. 1, 2. Thought I got another. Oh, here we go. 4. No, maybe not. Maybe it was just 1 and 2. I thought 4 was from this pocket too. Maybe. Oh yeah, it was. It has the same sticker. I think those. Oh, maybe this one too. Okay. So for Erod, I was just going around trying to find more classic X-Men. So picked up five five more of those. Let me bring that up there. So I have an issue one, but this was a way cleaner copy. A lot, just brighter white, and I've been trying to find a little bit of an upgrade for some of these. So my goal is to fill this run. Very underrated, just reprint series overall is cool because there's a lot of extra stories in the background, and obviously the artwork on the front, the redesigns that they do. The newer artists or newer at that time, newer artists come through for this. So that wanted to start doing that. So I found this nice clean copy from Erod. Let's see, I got issue 4 there. Really dope stuff. And then of course, let's see. Oh, issue 2. I jumped ahead there. Again, these are a lot of these are like the reprints, or they all are the reprints of Claremont stuff. That's the Anymen. Look at that, the Anymen there, which is technically the second, like issue 95, I think, or 96. When did the Anymen show up? Or 94? I forget now. I'm getting them mixed up. Let's see, this beautiful Rogue cover here, kind of reversed cover. I know in the original it's Wolverine up front, or sorry, over here, and I think Rogue in the background, but still the solid black. So it's nice, really good stuff there. And that's issue 77, and then also issue 32 got Storm there underwater with the team. So yeah, gonna have to open these up later and just flip through, read the backstory, and certainly reread the issues themselves, because they are some of my favorites from what I've read over the years with Omni X-Men. Yeah, thanks, man. So those were some of the other pickups, and then there's, let's see. Oh, I wanted to. So I had to make a list because there's a couple things I want to make sure I highlighted from this weekend. Really cool experience. Shared an elevator with each of Al Milgrom and Michael Rooker. Really cool to just hang with those guys. I mean, obviously, Al, I've had the opportunity to talk with several times, even through other Comic Cons, and he was literally 2 tables next to my dad. Him and my dad are very good friends. So Al's kind of become a family friend of ours, and always appreciate that guy. Really nice talking with him, and he's always bubbly and happy, and has really, really cool stories. So Al Milgrom, saw him there, but I also caught up with him while we were catching the elevator. That was on the first day, I guess the night before, or whatever it was. And then I think Saturday, Michael Rooker coming downstairs, and just he and I on the elevator going down. And he's wearing a top hat, just almost like a Luffy top hat. It was just kind of his vibe. And he was coming down, and I didn't want to like fan out with him, but I just I turned around and just said, "Hey, Mr. Rooker, really big fan of yours. Thanks for all that you do. Keep doing what you're doing." And he was really nice. He smiled, said, "Thanks. Have a great show." So that was a cool experience. I've seen Rooker before. He goes to this show every year. And I probably at this point should make it a point to stop and talk to him, because I like at his booth and support him, because he's always so involved with the fans and energetic, and I've seen him in action just like goofing off and talking to people, even when he walks through the aisles trying to get back to his booth or whatever. He's just he's always on. That guy's always on, and he's always a lot of fun. So that was a really cool experience as well. Let's see. Yeah. Wes says, yeah, you never know who you're going to see at Mohegun Sun. Yeah, that's the other thing too. And if I didn't start this earlier, for those who don't know, it's at Mohegun Sun in Connecticut. Mohegun Sun is a casino, which I personally think, and yes, I'm a fan of casinos, but I also just personally think it just sets up for a lot more of a fun evening. Even if you don't gamble, you don't have to gamble to enjoy yourself there. There's so much to do there. They have a pool there. They have tons of restaurants and bars, so on and so forth. So, plenty to do with anyone and everyone when you go to this place. So but you're right, yeah. And then just walking around is you'll never know who you're going to run into. What up, Paul? Good to see you, brother. Got to hang out with him, Morbius, Kyle, that crew. Always a good time. Got to have a couple beers with them and grab lunch. So Paul, I'm glad you were able to make it. I know everything with your knee and everything. I'm glad you're up and moving. You look good, bro. So I hope you got some good stuff from the weekend, and it was nice to see your family too. Let's see, Tony, my man, Got to hang out with Tony. Tony had a drink, joined us for dinner later. It says Al doesn't like chocolate chips, but he does love oatmeal and raisin cookies. Good to know. Good to know. I mean, I'm a fan of oatmeal and raisin myself. Let's see. BLC says, I said the same thing when I run into you in the elevator. Yeah, well, hey, when you ran into me in the elevator, I mean, these things happen, man. Remember Baltimore? That was good times. That was good times. We got to do that again, Patrick. Let's see. Candace says, that's a big selling point for me besides hanging out with you guys. Yeah. I mean, it's just like there's so much there to do, Candace. You and Carlos could. Obviously, there's nice restaurants. There's like delicious pizza places there. All different types of food and everything. It goes late into the night, and for the most part, I mean, we were all just hanging out, having a drink, hanging out near the bars, kind of walking from bar to bar, and you just run into people that you met, or at least someone you recognize, and they're probably with people that will recognize you or that through someone else, and like you just get to meet new faces. That's what's the best part about this whole thing. Let's see. Wes says, Joey, Terry, and I saw Jim Lee. Oh, you did? Yeah. See, I didn't do the big signings. If anybody's wondering, I didn't do Walt or Scotty Young or anything like that, or Keanu Reeves. I know was there for like 2 hours. That was the really big showing as well. I didn't pay for any of that stuff, but I was there just hitting up some of the other creators that I wanted to. Maybe one of those days I'll pay for some of those guys, but obviously they're expensive. Yeah. Oh, Paul, dude, you kidding me? Likewise, man. Likewise. We got to get to a game, man. We got to figure out. I haven't been to a baseball game yet. I know we were talking about that. Still got to figure that out. Let's see. Michael says, the after hours hanging with the homies. Dude, I'm glad that you were able to join us, Michael. I know the one night you had ended up going back to dinner, but and we were still out when you texted me back. I didn't see your text. Well, yes, we were still out, again, I was out until like 2 or 3 each night. But yeah, I was glad you were able to come out, hang out with Albert and 3 Men in the Basement and all those guys. They were all there. So that was good times. Let's see. Yeah, Heroes Con, I always hear good things, man. I think that that was your first year this year, right? That you went down. I remember you saying that you were going down there. That's on my list, man. It really is. And I know a lot of the community goes to that as well. But yeah, let's see. Wes says, can't wait. Finally able to go out with her. I know. Oh, is it next year, Wes? 21 next year? That's awesome. That's beautiful, man. Can't wait. It's gonna be great times. It's gonna be great times. So yeah, a few other highlights for me that I wanted to point out here. I didn't want to keep the stream too long, but I do have a couple other things. So I did take some time to meet Eric Estrada from Chips. If you guys are not familiar with him, the actor, and he is such a charming dude, still very charming to this day. And I went over to his table. His table was actually like right across from my dad's table, and so I went and actually paid for a video for him to say hi to my mom, because my mom was always a diehard fan of his. Certainly a celebrity crush of my mom. So was able to. It was like $30 for him to do like a little 30-second, 40-second video, but it was so worth it. He put on his charm and his smile and just talked to the camera, called her my name and just like spoke to her, and it just made her day. So that was really cool to just talk to him. He was a sweetheart. He was a really nice guy just to meet. And I know he's been doing a lot of these shows for a long time. But yeah, let's see. I talked about the Magic the Gathering thing. That was really great. Playing craps. So went to the craps table before I even getting into the whole like actually playing. I was down there with I had gotten food. I was with my sister and my wife, and we got Johnny Rockets. Chinmo was around, and then I know like who was it? Brian Cell Comics and this guy Dennis, who I had just met, Black Knight Comics, his buddy. They were rolling the dice and playing. And then Dan, who was here in the chat earlier, he was like curious about it and started to jump in. I didn't jump in yet because I was hungry, and so I was eating. And then I saw Chinmo and the guys. I saw Zach on the other side. I come around and they were hanging out with Mitch, the guy who runs Terrificon, and they were with like Stephanie Phillips, and Scott Snyder was there. And one of the coolest and just random, like just a funny story. Scott Snyder's a really great guy. I've talked with him before. He was at ZapCon. I got to meet and talk with him for a little while. Really, really humble guy. And he was about to roll the dice, and I had fries with me. I offered the fries to everybody basically that was at the table. And Scott basically ate like half my fries, which was, it was just funny. Like, I certainly welcome him to do that. I offered, I just didn't expect him to turn around like more than once to get some more fries. And he was like, these are really hitting the spot. So it was really funny to kind of see him do that and then get right back into the game. And I reminded him, I was like, hey, Scott, I was the guy I interviewed you over at, ZapCon. I know he probably sees a million faces, but he did recall just kind of some of that. So it was really cool. And just to say that Scott Snyder eat my fries at a craps table, not too many people could say that. So but yeah, so the other thing with craps, I finally was able to jump in. I was kind of standing across from Brian and Dennis, and Dennis just went on a run like right at the end of the night. It was like probably 2:45 at night. And he just shot for like a strong 15 minutes and bought in for $300, cashed out over 6, like instant. Like it was just, perfect. So, and then at that point they were leaving. I thought about staying. I know Dan stayed, he did well. But I was like, I was so tired at that point, and I was like, getting up early, wanted to still try to catch the con again on Sunday morning. So I ended up calling it and going back up to the room. But it was another cool experience, and obviously winning money is always always a positive. The other thing too, for those who had been following my story, or if you were there, you might have already heard or talked about it with me. But my wife ended up hitting 2 jackpots of her own on Saturday night, and or it was a Friday night, and it was insane. She hit one for $1,300, and then literally 2 hours later, she hit another jackpot for $2,000 on top of that. So that was really sweet. And we have a deal: if either of us make $1,000 or more on any given jackpot or bonus that we win, then the other person gets a quarter, gets 25% of it. So I was able to make a little money myself off of her wins, which was really great. And yeah, it's just a fun deal that we have. But yeah, the very successful, in regards to that, as far as the gambling aspect, and just obviously a lot of fun and good memories with everybody. And that's where I was really losing my voice, was at the craps table later, just yelling. But yeah, other than that, just again met a lot of other great people in the community. Got to catch up with Greg, MTG Greg, MTG Comics over on Instagram, for him and his wife Jess from King Khan, the guy that puts together King Khan. Greg's a really great guy. Him and his wife, just enjoyed talking with them for a while. I mentioned Albert earlier. Albert Loves Comics. That dude is just one of the best, man. Really, really great hanging out with him again. And he had stayed this time from at least Friday to Saturday, so was able to go out with, join us all for drinks and stuff like that. And I will say, if you ever get a chance to go, and like Candace, I know you're in the chat, like you mentioned, haven't gone yet, thinking about going one of these years, make sure, and I'm sure you would do this since you're coming from Chicago, but make sure whoever it is, if you're thinking about coming to the show next time, please book a room. And if you can, book early, book it in like December the year prior, or whatever, January, whenever it's like open or available. Book your room. It's cheap then, it's affordable, and the rooms go really quick. So otherwise you got to stay off site, which is not terrible, but you got to Uber, you got to worry about getting back to your room and everything else. Having a room there in the casino just makes the whole entire trip that much better. And I know some people who only go for the day, and I get it if your schedule, like, you just can't make that work or whatever, but if you can make it work, I do recommend at least staying one night, if not the whole weekend. And for those of you who go the whole weekend, if you're there from Friday to Sunday, I even recommend you to come in early. Come in on a Thursday. Come in on a Wednesday. Like me and Otto, we were there Wednesday night before the literal calm before the storm. Like no geeks were there yet. It was just he and I, and like just the regulars that were there. And then it was Thursday when people started to come in, and then Friday obviously was just packed. So it's really nice to have those extra days for just to make it feel vacationy. I went to the pool at one point Thursday morning, got to take my time, have breakfast, and just gamble and all that other stuff. So it's just nice if you can swing it. I highly recommend it. If you can't, I understand, but try your best to at least stay at night, because it is fun going into the nighttime and being able to again just be out with everybody and get to know people. Other than we see each other's comic books and posting and experiences that way, but it really is just a different level to be able to have a drink with somebody, or even if you don't drink, just to be out there and hanging out with everybody. So something to keep in mind, for if you're ever planning this. let's see. Candace was saying, I met Rose McGowan for the first time this weekend at oh yeah, I saw you were at Fan Expo. That's so great. So great. A few people were there. I know SideQuest was there, and Cheddar was there. Yeah, a few other people. It was really cool. She signed your book, Shadows Replica. Very nice. And she was. That's great to hear too. When you meet someone like that, they end up being really nice on top of it is perfect. But yeah, the let's see, she needs to share the horse. Oh yeah, yeah, Lady No Good. Yeah, she's always killing it, always killing it. Otto's wife was like, she ended up like pulling her to the side, like, hey, we got to sit down together. Show me the way. Show me the what was Otto called it the Lindsay method. Or the LL method, or the Lady No Good method. So there you go. I really wasn't. I haven't gone in a long time, and every time someone asks me this, it's usually no, because I'm not really a fan of it. But with that being said, and maybe this is just kind of the high of Terrificon, but a part of me wants to go at least for a day, maybe Friday, take off and just go down to the city for the day. It's been a long time since I went to New York City Comic Con. I know it's crazy because I live, fairly close. I mean, it's a travel into the city is not fun, but I'm still not that bad with travel to take a train or whatever. So I don't really have an excuse there. And I was looking at prices. I know Saturday's sold out, but like Friday is not too bad. And if it's just to like see the community again, I think that's what I would want to do. Or do it for, and I know there's like obviously just tons of creators and everything, which also make it worth it. I might, I'm like considering it now. I wasn't before; it was like complete no. But I was looking at the calendar. I'm like, I could swing it. I could make it work at least for like one of the days. So we'll see. Are you going, Patrick? Let me know if you're going to that. And anybody watching now or the replay, let me know if you're going to NYC for the Comic-Con there in New York. Yes, definitely staying on property long way. Yes, yeah, definitely want to do that, Candace, if you can. And if you get the VIP pass, you stay all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you guys could like fly back Monday or something like that. I think that would be like ideal. She says I'm good at slaps, but not that good. She needs to show me. Yeah, just telling you the Lindsay method. Just reach out to her, hang out with her, and learn her way. I think Lady No Good's gonna write a book. I think that's what it's gonna be. So you can read all about it in the book. But anyways, so I think I've kind of gone over all the highlights that I wanted to point out. Obviously, like I said, craps and all that stuff was just really good times. And then on top of that, the last couple books I want to show, because I didn't get many books, but it wasn't about the books for me at this time. I was just trying to have fun and talk to the community and stuff like that. So I did get this was one of the, I guess, like exclusives of the Comic-Con. I forget who the artist is, but this was just a really cool homage cover to the original stuff. So like all the cracks and everything. So that was actually part of Terrificon there. Like they had like their own table that they were selling stuff. I had two more classics that I got from one of the booths there for a couple bucks. So this was 73. And I think this is the replica. This looks like it's the replica of 170, which we were also just talking about over the weekend. Uncanny X-Men 170, one of my favorites. I was talking to Otto about it. The fight scene between Callisto and Storm, and that whole story, and a few other great stories in here. So really good stuff there. And then this was 75 here. So another goodie. And that's when Rogue joins the team there. So that was those two, and then I forgot these three. These were just more trying to fill this stuff. I got these like 30% off, so they're like $7 each, but just more Miss Marvel, trying to fill that run. So issue number 11, issue number 13, another beauty there, and issue number 19, which is another one I was missing for a long time. And these are really nice, crispy, copies. So that's what I'm looking for right now, is trying to fill the rest of this run with higher end copies, and I think I'm only like 5 or 6 away issues, I think, overall, and then the other ones being the X-Men classics that I was showing you. So not a lot of people had X-Men classic, at least not what I was finding, and I'll admit I didn't get to do as much digging as I thought I was hoping to, but that was just because I was always stopping and seeing people. And yeah, so that was that. But I'm trying to think who else. And I know it's impossible to like name everybody, but Hyper Combo Comics, he was there. Came from Canada too, hanging out with the boys. That was great to finally meet Hype in person. You know, I've had him on the channel before, and he's been doing his thing ever since. And it's really been great to see him in the community and finally be able to meet him. My buddy Mark, who was there also. I know he's from the city. Got to meet him. I forget his handle. It's MM something. I tagged him before, but yeah, Mark's a really, really great guy. Was able to finally meet him. He goes to Zap Comics every once in a while, so maybe he and I will meet up at some point. Comics and Culture, my boy George, he was there again. Uncle Frank was there again. I've seen him several times. I mentioned Joey and those guys. Mark Spector, David, he was there with his sister. Tony, who was just in the chat earlier, got to hang with him. Nigel came through as well. Desired Comics, got to hang out with him for a little while, which was always nice. I mentioned Paul and Morbius and Kyle, those guys. I'm glad, Morb wasn't, I wasn't sure if he was able to come, and he ended up surprising me, which was really cool. Glad that he was there for the weekend. Yeah, I think again, I'm sure I'm missing people. It was just the whole weekend was just amazing. Everybody that was hanging out there, but really, really appreciate just the connections I made, the new friends I made, and just the experiences overall. So really great times, really great times. Big Daddy, yes, John was there as well. Good call. I know Mon Comics and Ricky, those guys were there from Council of X. I mentioned them earlier. Oh yeah, Karate Kevin, my man Kevin, he was hanging out with us. Yeah, dude, it was good times. It was just, yeah. Let's see, go back through here real quick. Yes, the diaper Angel, Candace, that is that issue with Angel in the background there. Callisto dressing him up. Caliban was in that. Yeah, that was just a wild issue. BLC says, "Oh, you're working for CGC witnessing." Okay, cool. Capture Collectibles, nice. Very nice. Capture Collectibles, I think that sounds familiar. I don't know if they were they at Terrificon? Maybe they were. But either way, I'll let you know, BLC, if I end up making it work. You're there all 4 days, man. Whew. I mean, I wish that would be really cool. And maybe I don't know. I'll have to take a day off, I think, if I'm going to do this. Let's see. Sorry if I'm missing anybody here. Oh yeah, Will and Sean. Which Will? Which Will are you talking about? Will and Sean. I know I met a Sean. Sean. Or I don't know if we're talking about the same Sean. I'm thinking about Sean with the 3 Men in the Basement crew. He was there. Good catch up with him. Ryan, my dude, was just talking about you and your crew and how much a good time we had, man. Really was a good time. Hanging out online with you guys or Claremont and obviously just into the nighttime roulette. Hope you won some of it back, Ryan. Hope you won some of it back. Let's see. Michael says, where? Oh, yeah. Tony. I don't know. Tony just disappears, man. He does that. No, he joined us for dinner, actually. He came out with us after that Saturday. He said he spent an hour trying to chase you down. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. My man Conlin's in the chat. What is up, Conlin? Dude, I know, man. I'm bummed you were not there. I really thought you would be there. Only because I know you're somewhat local, at least to me. I know it's not technically local to Connecticut, but yeah, dude, I hope you can make it work next year, man. I really do. It's you'll love it, man. You know half the people there. I mean, you'd fit right in. So, oh, Will the Beast, nice. Okay, I missed them. I don't think I caught them this year. I know Cliff was there. New York Cliff, NY Cliff. He was there. I didn't get to see him. Tessa, I met. Tessa was there from on Saturday night. Got to catch up with her as well, so that was really nice. Someone who I've known for a while, finally getting to meet in person, kind of thing. So yeah, let's see. There you go. Those are some expensive memories, my friend. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, that's a good way to spin it. It was the best, dude. It was the best. Next time I'm going to join you guys for a cigar. How about that? Yeah, there you go. He's everywhere. All right, guys. I appreciate it. Been streaming for about 45 minutes. Going to cut it short here for now, but going to try to get back into the groove of things. I feel like I always show my face once and say that, but I really do want to try to get some content back out there and get more involved in the community again. It's been a little while, kind of taking a break. Obviously, just life's been busy and doing a lot of different things, but regardless, want to continue to try to show up and support everybody else. And I appreciate who hangs out here with me from time to time and supports my channel also. So again, Terrificon, if you haven't been in there. This is the recap. Hopefully you can go next year. If you were there and I met with you, awesome. If you were there and I missed you, sorry. Hopefully next time we get to meet up. But plenty more Comic Cons along the way, and I'll definitely make sure to share those over on Instagram when I do plan to go to some of the few ones that I plan to go to. I know ZapCon, definitely something I want to do coming up in the fall, and like I said, maybe New York City Comic Con. We'll see how that goes. But I appreciate everybody, and thanks so much for hanging out. And until next time, I will talk to you later.